this pre-Stevenage away. Last 3 games, a win, a loss and a draw. How do you feel settling in so far?
I think I've settled in okay. It's been straight into it, when we spoke after the Luton game. It was kind of just such a quick transition from kind of, coming from Sweden, then obviously just being at home training and keeping fit, and then being involved in English football again. So past 3 games have been okay. We felt that we probably gave away 2 points against Newport, and we was disappointed with Saturday's performance.
You mentioned they're playing in Sweden. Do you think having experienced football elsewhere gives you a little bit of something else playing style-wise? We know you can play in defensive midfield, but do you think you've learnt anything in Sweden that's helped you back in England?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of different football. In Sweden, it's more slow and a bit more relaxed and stuff, and back in the English League too, it's a lot more hectic and kind of more stressed, and the ball's in the air a lot. So sometimes it settles me down and I try and be calm on the pitch, but because sometimes the tempo is very quick and people are closing it down, it kind of it's difficult sometimes. But yeah, it's definitely helped. I think just learning a different way of football, really.
Yeah. And you've had a few clubs and a few managers. How's Gary been for you so far since you've been here?
Yeah, he's been fine. I've worked with him a couple of times before, so he kind of knows me now. I know him, so I know what he wants from me, and I know what he wants from his teams. So yeah, it's kind of just settled in pretty quickly, and it's just the regime's nothing I haven't been used to. So.
Yeah, okay. And obviously Stevenage Tuesday night, with after a game on Saturday. How easy is it for you to, set your attention onto a new game after such a short turnaround? Yeah,
I mean, obviously where we didn't get the result we wanted, we can't dwell on it. So we got to kind of just look to the next game, and obviously the objective is to get the 3 points in the next game. So we're not obviously, we're in a position in the table that we don't want to be, but we're not kind of overly worried about, we're not mentioning relegation too much and stuff, and we're kind of just, we know we've got the ability to get out of this situation. We just need a couple of results, maybe back-to-back results, and then everyone around the club's a little bit more, confident with things.
And your last couple of games against Stevenage, in the last 2 games they scored 9 goals, 5-1, I think 4-0.
Oh.
Is that something that will be in the players' heads mentally going into the game? Will help you prepare differently?
Yeah, I didn't know that. So,
no.
But yeah, well, definitely. I mean, for Stevenage, they obviously know that information, so they might set up differently. But naturally, if you've beat a team your past 2 games of playing them, you might just be a bit more confident playing against them, and that should help us.
And finally, Gary said after the game against Notts County that in the second half you showed a little bit more passion, a little bit more energy. Is that something you hope you can take into the Stevenage game to hope you can match them, because they've won the last 3 games in a row?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a game of 2 halves on Saturday. We lost the first half but won the second half, but we didn't obviously win the game. But it was definitely a much better performance in the second half. We created a lot of chances, and we just looked more on the front foot. So hopefully we can start the game like that on Tuesday night. Cheers.
Liam, how pleased have you been with your performances overall in the 3 games?
They've been all right. I'm just happy to have got through the games, because obviously I haven't played in a little while. But yeah, it's just, like I've said, I've settled in pretty quickly. And it just feels nice to be kind of back in England playing English football. So I've been fairly happy.
Yeah, you must have been working pretty hard behind the scenes before coming to Cheltenham to be able to play 3 games in quite quick succession like that.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, pre-season starts in January in Sweden, and then it's a 3-month pre-season, and the season finishes in November. So I had a couple of weeks off, but then started back my own training regime and was at the park doing runs and stuff. So I always try and keep fit off-season anyway. So it's credit to the work I've been doing behind the scenes as well, and just kind of straight back into it. So I ain't had time to think about being tired or anything. So.
Yeah, Gary said after the game Saturday that Cheltenham almost were relying on you a bit too much at certain times during the game. Did you feel like you could hurt County every time you got the ball?
Yeah, I felt there was times the way we set up, there was a lot of space on the left-hand side, and I think we noticed that more in the second half, and we tried to exploit that. Cranston was obviously getting on the overlap as well, doubling up, which helped. Just think maybe if we noticed it a bit more, then we could have maybe created a bit more chances and stuff.
Yeah, and there have been 3 very different games, haven't they? But the formation was the same at Luton as it was at County, but served you well at Luton. But then if you go behind, it's probably not as useful, is it, when you go behind in that formation?
Yeah, I mean, that formation's obviously tough for Kyle because he's by himself, and then me and kind of Winchester are kind of trying to support, but then we're trying to be in as a midfield as well. So it can work for you, but and then other times it can be tough. But yeah, well, it worked for us against Luton, but didn't maybe work for us so much against
County.
County. Yeah. So, but the second half, I think we changed a bit of personnel, and it started to work for us in the second half.
Yeah, Gary's spoken about it in the past, and obviously you said you worked with him before. What was it like playing for Yeovil in the Championship? Because that was probably the smallest team ever to get into the Championship, against the odds every week. What was that like battling against relegation there?
It was tough. I mean, we had to be fit, we had to be mentally strong. Obviously, knowing that, playing against QPRs, your Leicester Cities and stuff like that, Watfords and stuff, teams that have been in the Premier League, it was really tough. But we got some good results, and I think we done better than people expected us to do. And that's obviously credit to the work we done with the manager and the hard work we put in and stuff as well. I thought we probably could have stayed in the Championship. We had some results, referees, we're a small club, didn't really go for us sometimes with decisions, but I think it was an enjoyable experience.
Yeah, and what about Stevenage? Did you play against them in League One? You probably would have played against them before for other clubs as well.
Yeah, I've played against them before in the past. I don't know if the team's the same. It's a few years ago now, so
yeah.
Do
any games stand out from playing at their place at all in the past?
Nah. When I played for Northampton, they played at our place and I scored against them. So
yeah, hopefully get another one.
Yeah, we don't want to say that one.
You set one up. You basically set the goal up on Saturday, didn't you, for Holman, and then obviously tapped it on the line by Manny. So how pleased were you with the ball in?
Yeah, it was just I was trying to get a couple of crosses in throughout the game, but it's nice when you cross the ball in and there's an end product to it. So maybe it could have happened a bit earlier on in the game, and then we'd had a bit more time to try and get the equaliser. But we've got to take positives from every game as well. So.
Yeah, but all in all, you enjoying it at Cheltenham so far?
Yeah, enjoying my experience, and just hopefully it just continues and we can get more positive and more 3 points basically.
Yeah, brilliant. Cheers, Liam. Thanks a lot.